Hi, it's Liz from West Star Tarot. Welcome. So today I'm going to talk about some decks that I really like that I just haven't been using. And I kind of was going through some decks the other day. So this is sort of a true confessions. I am a big Boston Celtics basketball fan, and I've been there in the playoffs, and I've been watching their games, and I get extremely nervous. So the other night, I was watching the game, and I was really nervous. So I started to pull out tarot decks to put in order, because I find that very calming. So while I was sort of watching the game, I was putting different tarot decks in order. And I came across, or I pulled out a few that I thought, wow, I haven't used you in a while. And so there were several of them. And I thought to myself, oh, okay, I think I'll make a video about this and just kind of talk about, I guess this is one of the drawbacks to when you have a lot of tarot decks. Some decks just kind of don't come into circulation for a while. And you forget about them or whatever. I mean, I do like to use my decks seasonally. Some decks are really obvious and really have a calling in terms of the time of year that I want to use them, and I get attracted to them. But other decks, not so much. So this is a few decks that I put in order. Some of them I did not put in order, but I got to thinking about what decks do I really like that I just haven't used in a while. And I pulled those out too. So I'm going to start out with the ones that I did put in order. So the first one is this one, Super Lunaris. I love this deck so much. It's gorgeous. I was using it a real lot. It's just my cup of tea. It's a, Rider-Waite Smithy, but it has a lovely diversity and inclusivity to the people who are portrayed in the deck. So let's just start over. So we can just see it in the first three cards. Not so crazy about this Empress, but there is another one that has an Empress but not pregnant. Oh, here it is. And there's two versions of the Emperor as well. So this is just a deck that I love and that I used to use all the time. And, I have circulated, I guess, onto some more seasonal decks. And I've been talking quite a bit lately about a couple of decks that I've gotten in that are new that I'm just so attracted to and I just love. And I'm using, it's 2 tarot and 1 oracle. And I'm just using them so much that some of my other decks just haven't been, getting the love that they normally do. And, that happens. Like I said, when you have a lot of decks, you can't use them all the time. I mean, I used to read a lot for others, and since the pandemic, I haven't really been reading that much for other folks. So that was one way that I circulated through my decks more, was by reading for other folks. But as I said, I really haven't been doing that as much lately. Now I'm really much more reading for myself, and once in a while for somebody else. So this is a deck, another deck that I absolutely adore and that I used to use a real lot. It's the Stacia Barrington by Stacia Barrington. I love this deck. I'm particularly fond of the cup suit, but here I am just showing the majors. And as you can see, I did put these in order the other day when I was nervous about my team. Hey, whatever works, right? And it did get me thinking about some decks that I'm really missing and wanting to pull out to use. So I would say that's a good thing. Beautiful. Love that one. And the world. So this is a lovely deck. Oh, here's my King of Cups. He reminds me of my dad. I think that's why I love him so much. So that's the Stacia Barrington. And then this is a deck that I haven't used in a really long time. And I like it a lot. Again, these are decks I really like. But, you know, just have not been using. So this is the Anima Mundi by Megan Wire-Reading. It's a lovely deck. It's an animal-based deck. And it's just beautiful. You can just see that it's nature-based, mainly animals, but some plants and trees too. Not crazy about this strength, but, you know, can't love every card. But I do love most cards in this deck. It's just beautiful. I want to pull out a couple of the wands because, and this, like the only human is the devil, which I suppose makes sense, but why have any humans? I love that star card. Love, 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 love the moon card. And there we go. So let me just pull out the couple of wands that I am particularly fond of. It's the 2. Oh, I mean, that is magnificent. And the 3. And as you can see, the minors are pippish, which is nice. I like to have, you know, some decks that are a little pippish. It brings a different, something different to the table. All right, so now these are decks that I did not put in order, but, you know, putting the other decks in order got me thinking about decks that I have in my collection that I really liked and that at one time was using a lot, but just haven't been using that much lately. So this is This Might Hurt by Isabelle Rotman. And I think the reason I haven't been using this deck is because, I mean, it's not the same, but it's similar. It's just because I'm so in love with the 5th Spirit right now, and it kind of is in the same vein as this deck. I'm not saying they're the same at all, but they're similar. And I just have been so enamored of the 5th Spirit lately that this deck just hasn't been, I haven't even thought of using this deck, to tell you the truth. And then the other day when I was, you know, thinking about decks that I'm not using, that I used to use a lot, this one popped into my mind. And it's a great deck. So that is the This Might Hurt. And then another deck that I really love that I haven't used in a while is Spirit Within, and this is by Stephen Bright. And this is a nice deck. You know, so many of my decks are female-centric or feminist or whatever, and it's not that this is only male-centric, because look, we have, ooh, goodness, we have, you know, that looks definitely like a male and a female here. But it is a little bit more masculine than a lot of my decks, so it's nice for me to have for myself just as a sort of an alternative. But it's also nice if I'm reading for someone who I think, you know, would prefer a deck like this. And usually when I read for other folks, I will put out, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 decks and let them choose what they want. So it's nice to have, you know, a deck like this that's a little bit, well, it's a little bit, you know, different from most or many of my other decks. I do like this deck a lot, and I like the silhouettes. I like how the suits are color-coded. It's just, it's a lovely deck, you know, easy to read, Rider-Waite-Smith based. And again, I used to use this deck all the time, and I don't even remember the last time I pulled this deck out. So that is Spirit Within by Stephen Bright. And then this is the Moon Baby by Brant. Oh, shucks. Why am I forgetting his last name? Oh, dear. Embarrassing. So this deck is a revising of the Hoi Polloi. And I'm trying to see, is Brant's name on here? Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. And it is not. Why isn't it? Brant Palazzo. Better late than never, Brant. I'm sorry. Anyway, this deck, I love the Hoi Polloi, and I do have a vintage version of it, which I love, and I love the coloring. So Brant, you know, he crisped up the images and he changed the coloring. And it's quite lovely. There's beautiful, this cardstock is lovely. It's beautiful to shuffle. Oops. Here's my little Moon Bay. Oh, see, there we go. What am I? Ooh, number 22 of 1,000. You know why? Because I really wanted to get this deck, so I ordered it right away. And he has Strength at 8 and 11, and of course Justice at 8 and 11. It's beautiful. Look at the colors. And, you know, I do like Rider-Waite-Smith. I do enjoy using it. So this is a really fun deck. I really enjoyed it, and I used it a lot when I first got it. And then I just kind of put it on my shelf with my other Rider-Waite-Smith-ish decks, and just haven't been using it. So I will be pulling this deck out. Oh, can we talk about the edging? It's gorgeous. Everything about it. Brant did a beautiful, beautiful job on this deck. And it's funny, I used to watch his YouTube channel, but I haven't seen that he's made a video in a while. So I don't know, maybe he's not into tarot so much anymore. And the last deck I wanted to talk about was this one, the Golden Rider. So again, this is obviously a Rider-Waite-Smith based deck. And I love this deck. It's a recoloring, and this is by AGM. And when I first kind of came across this deck many years ago, it was really hard to get an English version. So I found that you could go get a French version, which is fine by me because I am a Francophile, and it's fun to have some decks. I mean, look at the Empress. Look at her eye makeup. I mean, it's hilarious. I love this deck. And I can't even remember the last time I pulled this one out. And so I'm going to leave these decks out on my table. And just see if I'm called to use any of them. over the next, month or so. It's just sort of like out of sight, out of mind. And so if I have them nearby, I will be more apt to read with them. And they're all lovely, wonderful decks that I love. And that at one time I was really using a lot. So anyway, these are decks that I have pulled out that I have not used for a while. And we will see if, if having them out on my table will, spur me to use them. So I will do kind of a follow-up video to this in a month, or I'll mention it at the end of my June favorites or whatever to see if I have in fact used these decks more. So what about you? Are there decks that you have hidden away that you haven't used for a while? Decks that all of a sudden, every so often, they cross your mind and you think, oh, I haven't used you for a while. I should pull you out. So let me know in the comments if that is the case and which decks it is that you have not been using and that you'd like to reacquaint yourself with. So peace and love.